Hi, folks. My name is Kara, and I'm an alcoholic, and I live in Austin, Texas. And as I was reflecting on my early sobriety, one of the first things that struck me was about this identification that is so important in Alcoholics Anonymous, and how I, as an alcoholic, really am able to hear other alcoholics in a way that I can't hear non-alcoholics because they've been where I've been and they've felt where I felt. And when I got sober, I was living in a college dorm and I had been asked to start controlling my drinking by some professional help that I was seeing. And we had done this dance for years where he would suggest that I drink sparkling water in between, glasses of whatever it was that I was drinking at the time, or that maybe I eat more first. And I would come up with ideas like I'll put tally marks on my arm as to how many drinks I'm drinking. I'll only take so much cash out of the ATM in order to go out that night. And without fail, I was getting more cash out at the end of the night to keep drinking. And I had all these different things that I had tried in order to control and enjoy my drinking at the same time. And yet, one day, after a night that was not particularly eventful, it was just more of the same, can't quite get the relief that I used to get from alcohol, can't seem to get my mind to quiet and feel okay in the way that it used to, can't feel like there's more oxygen in the room anymore. And then waking up the next morning with complete dread and not wanting to have woken up. I'm taking the train to this appointment to go see this doctor. And I had this thought that I needed to stop drinking. And it was a quiet, soft thought. And yet it scared me enough because I never wanted to stop drinking. I wanted to control my drinking. I couldn't imagine life without alcohol. But so this thought scared me. And it scared me enough that I told that doctor that I was not going to be drinking anymore. And I went home on the train and I poured out all my booze and I sold my roommate my mini fridge because in my mind, a very smart alcoholic mind, how to manage drinking is you sell your roommate the mini fridge because then it is their fridge and you can't touch their property, right? Like that was my alcohol logic. And anyways, what I had forgotten was that my roommates were throwing a party that night and I lived with 5 women that liked to drink in quantities like me, even though they were not alcoholic. It was just the culture of the time. And they were getting ready for this party when I got back. And one of my roommates asked me to drink 18 times before 2 p.m. And the reason I know that is because I counted. And eventually I snapped and told her that I was not drinking. And nobody else seemed to think that that was a big deal, right? I hadn't had some big blow up consequence the night before. It really didn't feel like anything different in their mind that I was going to be sober for a little bit. And yet to me, it felt nearly impossible. And so as the day goes on, I'm getting sicker and sicker. Things are starting to crawl on me. I'm really not looking forward to this party. And yet I don't know what else to do with myself. I didn't know about AA or anything like that. And I'm sitting in the corner drinking water out of this red Solo cup as everybody else is partying. And my friends keep coming up to me and asking me why I have to be such a jerk. Why can't I just have a good time? Why does it matter that I'm sober? They just don't understand why I can't enjoy myself while sober. And then in walks my friend Sam. And Sam was somebody that I typically called once I was already drunk. And when my roommates were being too slow to go to the bar, I knew that Sam would be ready and Sam would be drunk and Sam would be ready to go. And Sam walks in, he takes one look at me and says, "What is wrong with you?" And I told him what I had told people earlier, which was that I'm sober. And he, thank God, saved my life by saying, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Why are you sober?" And that was the most seen I had felt probably in my existence, but definitely that day, because everyone else just didn't understand it. And Sam immediately knew that there was something so horrible with being sober. And so he brought his six pack and I brought my cigarettes, and we walked around my college campus for the rest of the night. And I threw up in the bushes, and he would drink his beer, and we'd sit on benches when I needed a break, and we would smoke. And we just talked about how much it sucked to be sober and how alcohol was the only thing that made it feel like we could breathe. And I am so grateful for that, because I hadn't known anyone else that felt like that until I talked with Sam about it. And probably not surprising to you, but Sam had since entered the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and identified as an alcoholic. And I'm just grateful that he happened to come to that party that night, because I had an opportunity to find the rooms of AA by staying sober that night and having somebody to identify with. Thank you.